is Benjamin Okeze Kalu, representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the hallowed chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Uzita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Ben Kalu's mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Ben Kalu's mandate. Well, it's another time on radio on Ben Kalu's mandate. Welcome. This is where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. The House of Representatives, that's the lower chambers of the National Assembly. Welcome once again. Well, the member representing the Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives is the spokesperson of the House because he's the chairman of the Media and Publicity Committee of that House. So, you're welcome. My name is Michael Oni, and of course this program is a weekly program on radio, on online, and of course on various social media platforms where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency, Honorable Benjamin Kalu. Welcome. My name is Michael Oni. The program will be taking a new dimension today because, Honorable Benjamin Kalu will be taking the back seat today. No, not because he's busy or because he doesn't want to hear from you, no. But we're going to take the program from another angle today. I have joining me in the studio, Honorable AK. He is in charge of Ben Kalu's foundation. Glad to have you join us this morning, Honorable. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
You're welcome on this program, Ben Kalu's mandate. Well, Honorable Ima Eke is in charge of the Ben Kalu's foundation. And of course, today we will be delving into some of those projects, just as we will throw the lines open early today to fill your purse and, of course, articulate some of those complaints of yours as we also put them together and we forward them to Honorable Benjamin Kalu. Glad to have you join us this morning on the program. Now, let's take a look at the foundation first before we delve into quality representation and, of course, the gains of good representation being presented by Honorable Benjamin Kalu. The foundation, what are your works in the scheme of things as far as representing Bende Federal Constituency is concerned?
Thank you very much. Good to have you here. The foundation predates his election into the Federal House of Representatives. This foundation, Benjamin Kalu Foundation, has been running for about 20 years now. And it happens every 29th of December, he brings people around, the widows, the less privileged, orphans, and he empowers them to be useful to themselves and to the society. And that has been ongoing, even, like I said, before he was elected into the Federal House of Representatives, and has continued even after his election. And so it's a platform he uses to touch the lives of the people, the ordinary people in the federal constituency. And last December, we did the same thing, and we're going to do more.
Okay, great. I want us to take a look at some of those projects he has attracted, and if time will permit, we'll list some of those projects, and of course, how it is impacting the good people of Bende Federal Constituency, especially those villages and the communities that have benefited from some of these projects. He has been able to highlight some, just a very few on this program because of time constraints. If you help us, we'll delve into some of these villages and some of these communities and what are their needs and how he has been able to attend to some of those needs.
Thank you very much. The foundation particularly, by June, the 9th Assembly will be 2 years in office. And the first thing he did in October 1st, 2029, in spite of the cases at the tribunal, was to empower the undergraduates. He did undergraduate bursary, the first time that happened in Bende local government, in Bende federal constituency. Shortly after that, there have been a series of empowerment. Then, at the community level, there are projects that are ongoing. We just gave solar-powered borehole to Ugumpa, the first of its kind in that community. We're also doing that in Ozitem, having a few hitches there, but it's going to come on. In the next 1 month, it will be running. And we've done other kinds of interventions in the communities. For instance, in Mkpa, again, the presidency just approved 1.3 billion naira intervention on the ecological challenges they're having in that community. And the Eme Bridge is going to be fixed by this same intervention. That is from Mkpa. The Federal Road Maintenance Agency just concluded a tour yesterday of the federal constituency. There are roads that are going to come on board. The Okporoni Road was one of the roads they took care of in their inspection. And you have a road in Ozuitem that goes across from the square to Uzuakoli. They call it Enugumba Road, Uzuakoli Road. So that road will be fixed before the end of the year. In Item, the Apengo Amekbu Akano Road will be fixed. For the first time, you're going to see good work being done on that road with drainage system. That was also surveyed yesterday. And then in Ugueke, there's a road connecting Ugueke and Dezuku that's been cut off for a long time. That road was also taken into, account. So those roads are going to be fixed. These are directly on the people, things that concern the people. The Ntalaku people, we are the first to get health center. They have the most modern health center in Bende, the federal constituency is in Ntalaku now. There's also a new maternity home that is being built in Bende. These are things that had never happened before in Bende. Lest I forget, the Omuahe Bende Ohafia Road that the federal government has given contract for 12.something billion naira. The biggest contract that has come into Abia State. That was also attracted by my principal. And quite a lot of more. What they did in December was just the palliative. The main work is going to start. The FEMA did palliative so that the road will be motorable for December. The things I'm mentioning are things that have never happened in Bende before. You will recall a month ago, the bill to establish a federal college of education in Bende passed second reading. And it's at the committee level now. After that, it will come for third and final reading. So it looks rosy for people of Bende federal constituency.
Okay, you say it looks rosy, and how has this project that you've mentioned that your principal attracted, how has it really impacted the good people of Bende, especially in those villages?
There's no gainsaying the fact that the people are happy with him. The people are happy that for the very first time, some of these things are realizable in their generation. It has never been so good. Bende has never had it so good, and these are in the area of infrastructure, concrete infrastructure, beyond what the people say, like during the COVID. We went about giving out palliative and all that. Those are primary. Those are, just a tip of the iceberg. Okay. But what we see now, real concrete development. You have new classroom blocks springing up in almost every ward in the federal constituency. You have 2 classroom blocks coming up in Uzuakoli. You have a classroom block that is being built in Okaitem. You have a classroom block in other areas, and all that.
We're going to get into more of this project attracted by your principal. If you've just joined us, it is Ben Kalu'S mandate, and of course, this is the program where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. He's also the spokesperson of the House of Representatives. Well, today he's taking a back seat. Let's hear from those he works with, and of course, let's hear from his definitely his foundation, what he has been able to do. And just as we are going to throw the lines open early to feel the pulse of the people as far as his representation is concerned. And I need to let you know that we're going to articulate your contributions this morning. Of course, put them forward to Honorable Benjamin Kalu. But I have joining me this morning a professor, a lecturer at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and of course, lecturer at the Department of History and International Studies. He's a public affairs analyst, Professor Victor Okaogo. Professor, good morning to you. Glad to have you join us on Ben Kalu's Mandate.
Right, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine, thank God. So let's delve into the conversation. I would really like you to speak on quality representation, especially as far as lawmaking is concerned. We live in a society where so many persons are asking much more from the legislative arm of the government through our lawmakers. And I don't know if this is a step in the right direction from the people.
Well, you can see, with respect to this fourth, the ninth assembly, that there seems to be some level of understanding in lawmaking. And I make this point within the context of what we are having in our own federal constituency in Bende. You see, so there seems to be some level of qualitative lawmaking in the National Assembly. And I think if we are really want to be objective in what we are saying, I want to appreciate people to just key into the vision of what is happening in Bende.
Interesting. Now, back to that question, Professor. A lot of persons are expecting even much more than sometimes expecting as they are expecting from the executive arm of the government. As a lawmaker, you're expected to build roads. As a lawmaker, you're expected to build schools. As a lawmaker, you're expected to build health facilities. And I'm asking, we've got into this situation in a democratic system of government in Nigeria. Is this a step in the right direction? Is it right for people to demand from lawmakers?
Not really. You have already called them lawmakers. The central job that they do should be lawmaking. But of course, you've seen years of bastardization of politics, wherein people tasked with executing the laws made by the parliament do next to nothing. Ordinarily, we do not expect a lawmaker to leave Abuja or to leave the confines of the chambers in Umuahia to come build schools or build hospitals, like the case may be. But what we have today is such that lawmakers will articulate the ideas of lawmaking and allow the executive to implement. But what we have, given the level of poverty that has descended upon the polity, the constituents demand more from lawmakers than they demand from the executive. Reason being probably because they see the lawmakers more than seeing probably an abstract executive that they can't make their demands on. So in the following negation of the intents of lawmaking, you will appreciate the fact that the way we have it today, I doubt probably if it can be changed, because people are now used to making demands upon the lawmakers to do this or that.
Then how is a lawmaker expected to balance it? Because if a lawmaker doesn't do those things expected from his constituents, he might not get the nod to return, or he might not even complete it because they will not be so happy with his or her representation.
That is where political education comes in. The earlier we let the constituents know that actually this man's work is not making building roads. It's not about building roads. It's about making laws. So it's more about sensitizing the population, driving home political education for them to know that actually what we are having today is not the normal. But some of them will quickly say, well, for us here is the new normal. It is not the normal and it's not the new normal. But that is the only way we have seen any semblance of development or being near to the people have manifested. The local government that is seen to be nearest to the people is comatose, at least in the concept, within the context of Abia State and several other states, is comatose. The next person or people that they see are the lawmakers. It's not normal, but I think if we want to get over this, there's some level of sustained need for level of sustained political education, so that the constituents will know their level of the depth to which they can demand solely from the people, from the legislators.
Okay, great analysis. I want to know, how has the honorable representing, the lawmaker representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency been able to balance these gaps, the gap between the executive arm of the government and lawmaking, because the people are expecting so much from them now?
I sincerely do not envy Honorable Benjamin Kalu, because I see him struggle between trying to endear himself to the people and trying to do the real thing on ground for which he went to Abuja. Now, you see him making promises. Sometimes, if he doesn't come out on time as he will want, the people that he's representing put him under very intense pressure. So I think, sincerely speaking, that what he has done so far is probably what I have referred to the new normal. But this new normal is abnormal, in the sense that for how long will you keep Benjamin Kalu, turn him into the executor of projects, even for which he wasn't elected? So my take here is simple, that in as much as he has continued to bring to the people dividends of democracy, just take a visit to Bende. You will appreciate how he has scattered the entire place, permit me to use that word, how he has littered the entire place with projects. If the money for these projects do not come, will the Constituent understand that there could be a lean period, a scarce period for which he will not perform? So these are issues that we need to take holistically in trying to discuss with the general people to understand that Benjamin Kalu is mainly a lawmaker, but whose passion for the people has taken a very center stage, for which he has not slept too much. And that is why we see an avalanche and a listening of programs and projects in the Federal Constitution.
I'm sure you want to make comments on some of his contributions on the floor of the National Assembly. The fact that he speaks for the National Assembly. I believe that's a plus. I mean, the House of Representatives, that's a plus for us in Bende Federal Constituency.
Yes, of course, Benjamin Kalu, as a first-timer, is no longer an invisible person. Being the spokesman of the House has made him a national figure, if you like. And because he is somebody that takes his time to study bills, study situations, before he mounts the podium at the House to make his presentation. He has qualitative intelligence for which he brings out to the public domain. So look at some of the bills, almost over 40 bills that he has had time to speak on at the National Assembly. You see that each of them is very impactful on the people, not just even the Federal Constituency, but the totality of the Nigerian state. So he's not only representing Bende, he's representing Nigeria from the qualitative content of his views and his contribution. He's one of the most matured, forget his age, one of the most matured legislators or politicians that is presently the Nigerian firmament. To that extent, we are not selfish in saying that he should just represent them. We want him to export his idea, which probably his thinking and his manifestation of efficiency will be needed beyond this phase of Bende. And that is why we are happy that Bende finally has exported the rightly needed person. The Bende has exported to the Nigerian state the character of an individual, the capacity of an individual to dominate and impact on his environment. His environment, Benjamin Kalu, is not Bende. Ben Kalu's environment is the Nigerian state.
Okay, Prof, I want you to take us into the classroom now. The issue of playing politics with bitterness in the political setting that we have in Nigeria. Sometimes 1 + 1 might necessarily not give us 2 because of the bitterness being played with politics. And he has been a champion. He has championed the cause of playing politics when it's time for politics. I don't know. How has that really affected quality representation by some of our lawmakers? Sometimes some of them play politics with some of the bills they present on the floor of the House.
You see, part of the politics without bitterness was made popular by Alhaji Shehu Shagari of the defunct Great Nigerian People's Party, GNPP. But these are things we say by way of the mouth. The practical aspect of politics without bitterness has been exemplified by Benjamin Kalu. But outside Benjamin Kalu, you see, most of our politicians take delight in practicing politics with bitterness. So, and that cannot take us very far. Politics, if it is a game, should be played with open mind. Let me give you an idea. If I belong to political party A and you belong to political party B, every good move that you make should be condemned by me. Every move that you make should be condemned by me. What is the level of appreciation of what good move your opponent have made? Based on that, it is very obvious that the penchant to do politics with bitterness cannot intend and sustain the politics of sustainability that we want to play. So, but in the case of Benjamin Kalu, many people have seen that he does not play politics with bitterness. People that play politics with bitterness are people I will refer to the ostrich. The ostrich, when you play the ostrich, you try to hide their head under the sun. The totality of their body is revealed outside the app. So, but Benjamin Kalu, in his own characteristic, have seen that probably doing this with bitterness cannot take him far. You see how methodic, how exemplary he chooses his words in discussing about the opposition. He has been very appreciative of the good thing that the opposition will do, of the good thing that even his very bitterest enemy, if you want me to use the word, the opponent can do. He appreciates them. He admires them. He respects them. He doesn't use bad words for any of them. He belongs to the APC, but the party in power in the state is PDP. He is respectful. And that is why many people appreciate him. If you listen to the comments of the Honorable Commissioner of Information in Abia State, take a look at what he said about Benjamin and the totality of the presentations by people about him. He is the number one person in terms of playing politics without bitterness within the context of the state. And that is what the prescription I want to put forward to our politicians. Do what you can. They do not play politics with bitterness.
Okay,
because once you do that, we're going to have some problems.
Just before I let you go this time on radio, I want you to help us analyze, as a public affairs analyst, what part the roles of the constituents, I mean, the Bende Federal constituency, the roles of his constituents, what part should they play in ensuring quality representation? We've been talking about what he should do, what he's meant to do, the roads he should build, the bills he should present on the floor of the House. But it looks like we're not talking about the constituents. What are they to do to ensure that he succeeds at the House of Representatives?
Because he has impacted on many lives. many constituents do a lot of prayers for him. I see women, widows who he has helped, who continually gather themselves together to pray for him to succeed. So, to some extent, I would want to suggest that if what he's doing at the Federal House is appreciated by his constituents, they should do some lot of good by presenting him in prayers so that God can help him and help him really survive, help him to still do some more so that his constituency will benefit. Beyond prayers, I want to also suggest and encourage everybody in the constituency to put hands together to support him, because for the very first time since 1999, then the federal constituency have never had it this good. And to that extent, not if I'm running anybody down, which I cannot, but I'm just saying for the fact that he has done this good within the last 2 years, it means that everybody, whether you belong to his party or you belong to the opposition party, let's join hands together, support him so that he feel encouraged, for which he can even do much more than he has done now. If we continually run him down, it will be some level of discouragement. We need to encourage him so that he will daily continue to think of the way to move the constituency forward, and also align and synchronize his thoughts and actions with like people, so that the benefits of democracy will trickle down to the very least person in the constituency.
All right, Professor Victor Okaogo, Public Affairs Analyst, I want to really appreciate your time this morning on the program Ben Kalu'S Mandate. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Do enjoy the rest of your day. That's Professor there speaking to us. Of course, he's a lecturer at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka there. Okay, let's move on. I still have with me in the studio Honorable AK, Ima AK. He's in charge, the DG of the Ben Kalu'S Foundation. I want us to talk much more about the foundation. Just before we throw the lines open, we will also have more respondents on the program this morning. It's about feeling the pulse of the people as the Honorable takes a backseat today, of course, to hear from his people. You can join in the conversation. It's 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Now, one will be asking how can Bende constituents get across to Honorable Benjamin Kalu? Is it through the foundation? Is it through his constituency? And what is the relationship of Benjamin Kalu's representation at the House of Representatives and the foundation?
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Okay.
People get to us. We have a constituency office at Uzuakole. People come in, they drop their demands, and we articulate it and try to see how we can solve it, on batch by batch basis. The main focus, our agenda is about the people's agenda, it's people's mandate. The people's element is the most crucial of all that we do in the foundation. Anything that will help move the lives of the people from stage 1 to stage 2 is what the foundation is about. And so we take interest in looking at those needs, the needs of the people, the people's needs. Once we are able to harmonize it and move it forward, then we are sure we're doing what we're supposed to do at that level. In terms of our relationship with its representation, like I said, we have a symbiotic relationship. We feel the needs of the people and we channel it to the office in Abuja. And everything he does is about the people. So it's the people element is crucial to us. And that's what the foundation is all about.
All right. Hello, good morning to you. Oh, we lost that. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello, Michael. Good morning.
You're welcome. Good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Innocent. I'm from Bend.
You're welcome, Innocent.
Yes. I say Ben Carl is just to help us. Now people we like for this Ben there. Now somebody we like well in the help us. Now somebody. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. And you can also help us if you, highlight maybe some challenges you would like him to address also. We articulate that and, of course, present that to you. Maybe you're going to talk about some of the ongoing projects that he attracted. Of course, you can also call us and tell us about that on the program. Yes, you're welcome. What's your name?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Mr. Okereke Emmanuel.
You're welcome.
From Obereni in Dende.
You're welcome, Mr. Okereke.
Thank you. I would like to highly appreciate the good works our honorable representative is doing across the local government. This morning I heard him talk about Obereni Road. Please, can you throw more light? Because our people are really worried that we have a man of this caliber, and we are staying at his backyard, and we know he does not discriminate. So we want to know what he is planning to do and when he is going to do it, because in all the communities in Nigeria, if I'm limited to say, but when it's the most backward, because these are people who still carry sick people on head, dead people on head to the hospital. So please, I would like him to extend his magnanimity to our people. Let me know what he plans to do so our people can actually, fall in line.
All right, Mr. Okereke. Honorable
yes.
Ima.
Last Friday, I led a team made up of FEMA and people from our constituency office to Okporeni. And I think that road is about either 2-point-something kilometers. Okporeni is very, very significant in Bende Federal Constituency because it's one of the food baskets of Bende Federal Constituency. And as we went down, I saw an oil processing mill on the right of Okporeni. The young man that just called in now, I'm sure he's from there. He will know I am telling him the truth. That I saw the oil mill for the first time where they were milling, and they said this is the bottle oil. They call what they call bottle oil. It's the first grade, that can stay like 1 year and it doesn't go to sleep. Something like, let me use that word, go to sleep. It doesn't congeal. So after we saw it, and we saw a very industrious, a farming community, and that road is very significant for them to move the produce from the farms and make money for themselves. That road will be fixed before the end of the year. We'll have strong assurances by officers from FEMA, the team from FEMA. So, my brother, be consoled. Benjamin Carl is going to extend his magnanimity. Prof was saying something about representation.
Yeah, quality of representation.
Yes, and the legislators now going to do the work of the executive. That's where we found ourselves as a people. And it's important for you to flow with the trend. If that road is fixed, the less headache the state government will have. It's all about joining hands together. The more the merrier.
All right.
If we get federal intervention to do that, it is still our state.
Let's get more reactions on the phone lines.
Much.
Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Good morning. This is Chiboy calling from Oman.
You're welcome, Chiboy.
Yes. As long as I'm applauding Honorable Benjamin Carlo for how philanthropic and magnanimous he has been, having said that, I think bringing those projects and whatever starting projects is even not among his primary duties at the floor of National Assembly. If I may say, in my own perspective, he's a kind of speaking on our behalf. Then if you look at the power distribution and whatever distribution generally in Nigeria, you see that parties are marginalized to a greater extent. How long, I don't know, how have you learned his voice to speak against this injustice meted against the Southeasterners? That is number one. That you should know that is his number one duty. That's why they sent him there. Go and speak on our behalf, because we cannot reach federal government to speak. Go there. Anything you see, go and speak on our behalf. Yes, of course, he's trying by all these projects here and there. The ones he are starting, the people that he's helping, he has been so magnanimous, no doubt. But if I may say, he's lacking in his primary duty, the primary duty assigned to him. Now, the professor talked about him not playing politics bitterness.
Yes, quickly wrap up, Professor, so that we can allow others
yes.
also.
What I'm saying is that he's always the kind of trying not to fall out with some people, mending things. Sometimes you need to speak the bitter truth.
All right.
Let me allow that.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. I'm going to take you on that quickly. How he has lent his voice against marginalization, of course, in the southeastern part of the country. We have so many persons on the line. We would like to take calls after calls. Then you can answer that, Honorable AK. Yes, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Bengal this Monday.
The wounded lion, Ambassador Kenneth. I'm calling from Umuahia.
You're welcome, Ambassador.
Yes. Bender Federal Constituency, we have seen most of the things been doing, just like the borehole he said he gave in the Piper. I went there and saw it. My own advice is for them to get those who be monitoring all these things that have been built. Because many people naturally, especially in this part of the world, believe that whatever government has done is government property. So we lack maintenance culture. From time to time, the people not only making people your special advisor or whatever, let them be monitoring those things and making sure those things are not destroyed. Then on the issue of the party upon party, let me just tell the Southeasterners, if you go to the North, they will walk up to hand whether they are from PDP or APC. So what I mean is this, let's have a symbiotic relationship between member representing then the North and member representing then the South, because these are my areas. So they, two of them combine together to form then the local government area. So you don't say you are an APC, make sure that you meet with the APC ruler, as other state house of assembly, let them meet together so that things will be moving. Not when this person is going up, this one is going down. Then finally,
yes, quickly wrap up a thought.
Finally, security is most important thing among all these things we are doing. Let him help the federal government to come and make sure that these Fulani herdsmen, the bad ones, will not kill us.
All right, Wounded Lion, thank you for your contribution. Yes, glad to have you join us. What's your name?
My name is Victor Emmanuel Ndoboka. Thank you, Mike.
All right.
Yes, I just want to opine that the present legislature, especially in Southeast, they are moving away from the traditional function of lawmaking, moving into the work of the executive by producing projects. However, I thank them for the much they have done, but I will urge them, let them continue to do something that will impact positively on the people of Southeast. That is why we send them there. It's like they are more in line with party activities, protecting political party interests. Let them protect the interests of the people they are representing. That is why and what we want from them to do. That is my contribution, man.
All right, thank you for your contribution. We will be speaking to some other persons on the phone virtually this morning, but I would like Honorable Eke to respond to some of the callers this morning, how he has been able to lend his voice against the marginalization, the issue of maintenance, some of these projects. It's very important that you monitor them and we don't go back to where we are coming from, and the issue of security.
Okay, I'll take on the project monitoring. These projects are cited in communities. It behoves on the communities to guide the project they have received. If, for instance, a borehole is cited in your community, you don't expect us, we can't be there 24 hours. The community has to look at it, bring it a system that works for them. It could be the development union now taking ownership and saying, okay, we want to make sure that this thing is up and running. how to go about it. We want to guide this thing that is not vandalized and people come to pull the sumo or whatever and go and sell or destroy the panels in, and the community suffers it. The projects are there to serve the community. It is not serving Honorable Benjamin Kalu. It is the community that they should take ownership from the moment it's commissioned to make sure that it's properly secured. On the marginalization of the Southeast, every local government, every part of the Southeast has a representative in the Federal House of Representatives. We didn't send Benjamin Kalu to Abuja to go and start throwing punches, because punches do not bring infrastructure. Punches doesn't put food on your table.
Neither does it bring development.
Neither does it bring development.
No.
So it is by lobbying, it is by engagement, which he has done. The things we are seeing in Bende local government is a reflection of the maturity with which he has approached its representation. The people's element. That is our number one agenda.
Okay, just a moment. Honorable Benjamin Kalu is listening all the way from Australia, and definitely will be available next week to answer some of those questions. Just keep them coming. We're going to articulate your questions, of course, definitely present those questions to him. But we have someone joining us this morning, a civic engagement advocate and executive director of Advocacy for Civic Engagement Center, and also a constituent of Ben Kalu, that's Bende Federal Constituency. We'd like him to speak this morning on the expectations of civil society from legislature. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Obinna Osisiogu. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. I would like you to speak so far on your analysis of Representative Benjamin Kalu's performance and also the expectation of civil society from legislators as you're a member of that constituency.
Yes, so this good morning, listeners. This one hits close to home because we're talking about my own constituency where I'm from. You see, a few things are very important to us in civil society organizations. We are more interested in the development sector, in issues of health, structure, security, education, and of course transparency of public office holders. And typically, we like to work with the legislators to hold governments to the highest standards of accountability. We are quite impressed with the performance so far. One of the things that stands out in this representation is his level of transparency. When we saw the reports that was published by his constituency office in the Bende Town Hall last December, apparently at the end of every month, he holds a town hall with his constituents. He outlines everything that he has done for the preceding year. And we saw the way he listed out all the items that have been budgeted, all the projects that have been budgeted for Bende Federal Constituency. Typically, you have legislators being dodgy about this information. You know that there are organizations like Tracker and Budget that are tracking the budget performance and delivery on ground. And so to say a legislator who is forthright with this information, who is bringing this information without even being asked about it, it's a good way to go in terms of transparency, and we commend him for that. You know that the duties of the legislator are threefold, according to our constitution and the powers that have been accorded to them. One is, of course, according to section 4, they are meant to make laws and legislate. Two is that they are meant to take oversight over all agencies of the executive arm of government, according to section 88 of the Constitution. But then, very importantly, it's also their duty as representatives. That means the representation. And for a developing nation like Nigeria, this is perhaps one of the most important duties of a legislator, especially considering how centralized our federal system is. The fact that these legislators are supposed to take the needs, conduct a needs analysis of their constituencies, and take these needs to the federal government and draw the attention of the requisite executive agencies and say, my people need water in this place, my people need roads in this place, my people need some classrooms in this place. And from analysis so far, you can say that he's been doing a very stellar job of that. In fact, it was very striking that the very first motion that was moved at the National Assembly was moved by him, and it was a clear demonstration of representation. I think it was moved on the very first plenary of the House of Representatives, where he moved the motion for the need to combat threatening degradation in Mpa, Bende, Itubuzo, Alai, and other communities across the constituency. And because as a result of that motion, we traced the budget performance. We found that the government has actually allocated some billions of naira to fix roads and address issues that have arisen from the erosion and degradation that happens in and around Bende Federal Constituency. So we commend him for that. We think that he's doing a good job of representing his people very well. He's doing a good job of conducting oversight, and of course, when it comes to legislation, he's actually one of the top performers in the House of Representatives. He's had more bills than a lot of other people, considering that it's the first time at the House too. So overall, we rate him really highly. Think that he's doing a good job, and we're actually proud of it.
Interesting. Albin, I want to really appreciate you for joining us this morning, especially as you represent the civil society constituency. Thank you very much. And you're rating him very high. Of course, we do appreciate you also for joining us this morning on Ben Kalu'S mandate.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, in case you just joined us, it is Ben Kalu'S mandate, and today's edition is taking a new dimension because we're feeling the pulse of the people. You heard from Professor, public affairs analyst, you heard from the civil society angle. Of course, you've been hearing from the DG of Ben Kalu'S Foundation. Definitely, we're going to take more calls, and I still have one more person to talk to virtually on the program. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Good morning. I am Machuku Obiama. I'm calling from Ameke, Afapa, Ibeku.
All right.
I want to state it very, very clear that I am a super fan of Honorable Benjamin Kalu. Despite that I'm not a PC man, I'm a PDP man, but when you are doing something that is good, we have to appreciate the person. Now, this will bring me to Ikwano Omaya Federal Constituency, being Honorable Sam Onibo. What I want to say is he the same office that he's staying with this people or not? When this man is doing all these things, he's been the local government, and now you see what he said about Oreni Road. I'm telling you that he's saying the truth. And if you see the way he's saying it, you will know that he's saying the truth. Now that Honorable Sanibo represented us here in the Ikwano Federal Constituency, is there in Abuja with APC? What is he doing? We cannot even hear from him from January to December. And when
I believe
they told
that
him
question,
not to go again, and he said
this
that
is
he's leaving
Ben
the party.
Kalu'S mandate. I believe that question will be forwarded
Thank
to
you very much.
Sam
Thank you very
Onibo,
much.
sir. Thank you very much, anyways, for your contribution also. Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Good morning, Nick.
You're welcome.
Good morning. It's Mr. Chijoke.
All right.
I thank you. I commend your guest for wonderful, addressing the issue the way it is. For me, I came from Isubuato, but I have been monitoring a lot of things from Bende, and I see that Bende people have a good representative, somebody like Ben Kalu. He's doing wonderfully well, and what his representative there is saying is very, very true. So I want to commend them. Let them keep on doing the good work for the people, and also all the legislators from the Abia North. They are doing wonderful well. Mostly people from APC, they are doing well. So I want to commend them. Let them carry on. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us. Okay, we have someone joining us. I told you I will be speaking to one more person virtually this hour. Bond Udiaga. Glad to have you join us, Bond. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning.
You're on to Ben Kalu'S mandate. You wrote a piece.
The ugly situations of those children whose cookies do not be paid due to the fact that some persons felt they are lord over us, having gotten our vote at the election. Well, on the first question, you see, politics, democracy has to be very active. It's not something that ought to be passive. That piece you see was a typical reaction that you get from a constituent, a follower who feels the impact of his leader, a follower who feels the tremendous development in on his environment, a follower who feels he is really represented by his rep. So I wouldn't. Every other person can as well come up with certain things. If you will agree with me, over time, some special commentators, some individuals have also been coming with typical articles on the media and thereabouts. But I think after the election, something that is not regular happened. Benjamin Kalu, if you look at his acceptance speech, he congratulated his opponents and also call on them to come and join him. Let's develop our area. And when you take a look at then the federal constituency from 2019 to then, you will totally agree with me that there has been a tremendous changes in the area of empowerment, in the area of infrastructural improvement, in the area of quality representation. We now have a voice. People now know us. This is what government should do. Government mustn't be about sacrifices. Government mustn't be about empowering some group of persons and your friends. Government has to be the representation of giving your people quality representation and voice. And Benjamin Kalu has given us quality representation and voice in Abuja. And we will continue to support him. More other youths are coming. They will continue to lay their different voices. This is democracy, and we are not going to allow people to draw us back in those years of agony, those years of misgovernance and misrepresentation, those years of infrastructural decay, and those years of illegitimacy. So I think that is why I will tell you that I was motivated to come up with such things.
Interesting. And I'm sure that will be, you will have an advice for other representatives right here in Abia State, of course, in Nigeria, to go the same way, I believe.
Yes, I do. You see, government is an art. People can choose to represent you positively. People can as well choose to represent you negatively. But one good thing about governance is that at the end of the day, we will take an account of stewardship. We, the Vendelites, have already taken account of stewardship because we've seen what we've not seen before under the leadership of Rev. Benjamin Kalu. Like I said, we've had a voice. So I'm not going to tell anybody do this or don't do that. They know what is good. And our people are now politically aware, and they are going to vote based on their conscience. So if they like, let them represent us well. If they don't like, let them not represent us well. In the long run, on the 2023 general elections, our PBC will actually speak again because it was then the people that elected Benjamin Kalu. It was a simple mandate. So the leaders should look at him. Just recently, the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Tizoloki Kalu, after the House of rerun in Aba, he made a speech. He said people should emulate somebody like Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who is very decent, who is very civil, who is accommodating, who has represented us well outside the state. And working by the issue of political circulation, Tizoloki Kalu is from the other party, while Ben Kalu is from APC. So that is to tell you that leadership, when you present good leadership, when you present quality leadership, it is like a light onto our path. So people should learn to emulate good things. That's right. What I have to say.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Bond. We do appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So let's take more calls, get more reactions. Just before we wrap up the program, Victor Njoku on the SMS line says, Honorable Ben Kalu has proven to all Abians in general and Bende in particular what true representation should be. Other rep members, senators, and House of Assembly members from Abia should emulate him. Honorable should remain focused. We need people like him in Abia. All right. Honorable Eke, good morning. I remain Kelechi from Umpa. I must commend our Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the people's choice for the project in Umpa and his foresight to bring Federal College of Education in Bende local government. He should assist me to collect the statement of my BEd result, Bachelor in Education, so I believe at Anambra State University. All right. I know you get a lot of these often. Do you address them?
We do.
All right. Great. Let's take a call or two before we wrap up. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Glad to have you join us this hour. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you.
And good morning, gentlemen in the studio.
You're welcome, sir.
Why did we send these people to Abuja?
You have to start with your name, sir, before your contribution.
Sorry, my dear. Emenike from Isukwato.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. We sent these men to Abuja to bring us our own share of the national cake. That is the main reason we send them to Abuja. If every representative could do as good as the representative of we are talking about, and the senator from Aga North, if this could be replicated in all the local government areas, all the senatorial districts in Igbo land, in the southeast, I think we will not be crying. They are doing exactly what we sent them to do. This gentleman we are talking about is doing exactly what we sent him there to do, to represent us, bring out our own share. If this could be replicated in all the states in Igbo land, I think we will not be crying foul. So kudos to this gentleman, kudos to the senator, and kudos to all those representing as well.
All right.
We shouldn't be crying foul. We shouldn't be crying foul if these things are done. If these people bring us our own share, I think we will not be crying. Marginalization. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your
sir.
contribution. That's the size of our package on Ben Kalu's mandate for this week. Join us next week, and hopefully Honorable Benjamin Kalu will be available to answer some of those questions that you've asked this hour on Ben Kalu's mandate. Honorable Ima AK, thank you very much for making it live in the studio. We do appreciate you.
Thank you, Mike. It's been wonderful talking with you.
All right. Many thanks to the partnering radio stations from Flow 94.9 FM to Real 99.1 FM in Aba, and Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, and also Family Love 99.9 FM in Umuahia, and also ABN Online Radio and TV. I'm signing out. My name is Michael Oni. Ben Kalu's mandate returns next week.